Okay, so we just have two more things that we need to find. We need to find the y-intercept and the x-intercepts. The y-intercept, when you have a graph, or I'm sorry, a function in standard notation, the y-intercept is very easy to find. So remember, the y-intercept is any point on the y-axis, which means your x value is 0. So the y-intercept will always be found when the x value is 0. Well, super easy to find. When you plug 0 in here, this all dumps to 0. When I plug 0 into here, it all dumps to 0. So 0 plus 0 plus 1, 1 is going to be my y-intercept. So in this case, again, this is number 7, my y-intercept is at 0, 1, which means my parabola crosses at 0, 1. So what's nice is your y-intercept is always going to be the c value of your standard form quadratic equation. Okay, now we talked about, the last video, we talked about the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry goes through the x value. It's an invisible line, that's why I have it dotted. But what's nice about that is because I have a point here at my y-intercept, y is 1, I also have a point one step away from the axis of symmetry. So it's at the same height. So since this y-intercept is one step away from my axis of symmetry, I also have a point on this side. It's the mirror image one step away. Okay, so now if you can see that the parabola is starting to take shape. All right, so now we need to find our last step, our x-intercept. So the x-intercept is when y is 0. Okay, so remember, this is just another way to say y. So we have an equation now, 0 equals negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 1. Okay, now this goes right back to solving a quadratic equation. Okay, now if you can factor it, factor it. But if you can't factor it, and we can't use the square root property because we have x squared and an x, so we can use the quadratic formula. So here we go. Quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. My a, b, and c are sitting right there. I've already established them. A is negative 2, b is 4, c is 1. So all I have to do is plug my values in. So negative 4 plus or minus square root of 4 squared minus 4. A is negative 2. C is 1 all over 2 times negative 2. And now I'm going to simplify it. So negative 4 plus or minus. Underneath my radical, I have 16. This calculates to 8. Because I have two negatives, it is the square root of 16 plus 8 all over negative 4, 2 times negative 2. So next step, x equals negative 4 plus or minus 16 plus 8 is 24 all over negative 4. Negative 4 plus or minus, so remember we can simplify this. This is 4 and 6. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 6 stays underneath. And now I can simplify further. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1, plus or minus. 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. So square root of 6 over 2. There's my 1/2. Now, because we're looking for actual values, actual points, I'm going to go ahead and work this out. So square root of 6 is 2.449. So now I'm going to add 1. I'm sorry. Let me go. 1 plus square root of 6 divided by 2 is 2.22. That's one of my answers. And then 1 minus square root of 6 divided by 2. Now, be sure to close your parentheses on the square root of 6 and then divide it by 2. And then my other value is negative 0.22. So I have a point at 2.22. So here's 2, here's 3. So 2.22 is about there. And I also have a point at negative 0.22. So there's my negative 1. There's my negative 0.22. Notice that both of these x-intercepts are about the same distance from my axis of symmetry. All right, so axis of symmetry is here. This is 1 and a little bit. Axis of symmetry is here, 1 and a little bit. So all of your x-intercepts will be the same distance away from your axis of symmetry. So now I can graph. Okay, vertex first, then get your y-intercept, then get your value straight across, same distance away from your axis of symmetry, get your x-intercepts, and then you're good to go. Okay? Now, next video, I'm going to do the whole thing in one video.